Thank you, Shurika. Professor Shurika Thirunagama there, who is the Assistant Professor of Anthropology at Stanford University in California. Dr. Mostafa Naser is the lecturer in law in the School of Business and Law at Edith Cowan University in Western Australia. He's researched suicide bombings for the paper Understanding Suicide Terrorism in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Dr. Naser, good evening, good morning, good afternoon it is indeed for you.
Yeah, good morning for you. It's 11:24 a.m. in Perth, Western Australia, or maybe it's good morning in your place as well, I guess.
And we've been hearing, sir, about the political history of Sri Lanka, and not least with regards to the civil war that raged for over 30 years. Where does the use of suicide bombers fit into that picture?
Suicide bomber, the definition, the scholar used the definition where the operation and the terrorist attack or the death, it's successful with the death of the attacker. So it is actually in suicide attack, it's regarded as the readiness to sacrifice one's life in the process of either destroying or attempting to destroy a target to advance some political goals of an organization. It can be political goals, it can be religious goals, or it may have some other form. So it is that, and there are many kinds of motivations for this kind of suicide attack. It's not easy one actually, because one is ready to sacrifice his life. Sometimes they want to achieve martyrdom. In case of Muslim terrorists, they believe that if they actually sacrifice their life for the cause of some religious goals, and they will go to heaven instantly. So there are different types of, it can be, or this one part, this religion, it can be because of revenge and because of nationalism, to achieve some ideology or political aspirations, or some ethno-nationalism causes might be behind this, that we have actually seen in case of Tamil liberation movement, so-called. And also sometimes they were rewarded, the suicide attackers. So there are multiple causes might be behind this sort of suicide attack.
I know the term itself is somewhat misleading and might not always be helpful, but we use it as a shortcut, and people understand what we mean when we say that, for better or worse. I do remember during the Civil War, for some reason, the one attack that sticks in my mind was of a young woman who blew herself up as she was going across, across the checkpoint, I think, coming out of Tamil Nadu, as I remember. It could have been in Colombo, though. I might have got that slightly wrong. And she had, she was just cycling or something like that. I don't know if that was a particularly unique suicide bombing, but that one stuck out in my mind. You might know the one I'm talking about there.
Yes, you were right that that attracted huge media attention. That Tamil tigers, they also started recruiting the women. They had actually women suicide bombers, and as well as also they used to recruit children. But that's not the beginning. Actually, for the first time, the female suicide members were used by the Palestinian liberation movement that was well known. So yes, that's another tactic, and also later in recent suicide bombings in Bangladesh, also we have seen that they recruited female members, and so that's also another phenomena actually. That's they nowadays, not nowadays actually, from that time of the incident you mentioned, they started recruiting women as a suicide bomber. Maybe it's part of their strategies and tactics.
Why do you think there has so far been no claim of responsibility after these coordinated attacks right across the country?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I was thinking the same. That in recent times we have seen that mainly the ISIS, the Islamic global terrorists, they instantly they claim the responsibility because one of the motivations for this kind of suicide attack is to get the media attention, to actually to get the popularity and media attention. So that's really surprising and mysterious that there is no claim of responsibility. But as a source of this attack, so far the only clue we have that a memo circulated by the Sri Lankan intelligence that some local Muslim organizations, militant organizations in Sri Lanka that called National Tawheed Zamaat, they were planning to attack the churches in Sri Lanka. That's the only clue we have so far. But I agree with you actually that it's surprising that there is no actually claim of responsibility so far, and because it's also surprising for me as well because. That's one of the prime motivation for this kind of suicide attack is to publicize their cause, their ideologies, and to get media attention, and also to create the division among the populations. So it's mysterious.
Dr. Nasser, thank you. Dr. Mostafa Naser, the lecturer in law in the School of Business and Law at Edith Cowan University in Western Australia. And just to reiterate, the death toll from these attacks has gone up quite dramatically from what we were reporting earlier on in the programme. It's now believed to be 200.